Hey garden friends, welcome back. My name's Phil, but you can call me D. And welcome to our first video of 2026. So love it or hate it, the new year is here. For a lot of us, that means New Year's resolutions. Some people want to exercise more. This counts. Some people want to read new books. This counts. But for at least some of us, maybe spending more time outside, more time in the garden is what we want for the new year. So, it's January. That means here in the desert, we're going to start planning for our spring garden. And I'm going to give you some tips on ways to plant seeds, save some money, and have a higher success rate. What are we doing today as far as January goes? This is going to be most applicable to us who live here in the desert, but it's January. And for us, that means we have to start thinking about spring. We're 8 to 12 weeks from our last frost date here, which is usually around mid-March in Tucson, and I think the same for Phoenix. And I prefer to start my plants from seed. So I'm going to give you kind of a quick tutorial on how to plant seeds for your best germination rate so that when that last frost date comes in March, we're all ready to have some plants to put in the ground outside. And I like to start from seed because I think the plants are stronger. It helps me give more of a head start so my crops mature quicker before the summer heat set in. But I don't know if you've seen it out there, but things aren't getting cheaper. You can see here the prices of these starts versus the prices of buying a packet of seeds. So for me, if you're getting one plant for $6, but you're getting a packet of seeds with potentially 25 plants for $3, it's a no-brainer. We all want to save money, we all want to be healthier, and so let's grow our own food, and we can ensure that there's no pesticides put on them. We can ensure that they're grown in our garden so they've got more vigor, they're more adapted to where they're growing, and yeah, ultimately we're going to be more successful as a result.
First question we should all ask ourselves is, what are we going to plant for whatever time of year it is? And there's a really easy way to answer this question. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the internet and you're going to go to Google and you're going to type out this Cooperative Extension Planting Guide. And then before that or after that, you're going to put in whatever county you happen to live in. Doesn't matter if you're in Arizona, California, Kansas, Florida, North Carolina. There's going to be a land-grant university in your state with scientists and growers that have helped compile these calendars with all different varieties of crops to tell you when to transplant starts into the ground, when to start seeds into the ground. There's going to be a whole host of information. So utilize your cooperative extensions. They are people dedicated to helping you grow plants, whether you're a home gardener, whether you're trying to become a commercial gardener, farmer, it doesn't matter. This is a great resource of information and most people don't know about it, and it was established as a congressional mandate. So this is going to be a huge resource for you. So definitely don't sleep on this.
When it comes to seeds is that not all seeds can be treated the same. Seeds come in a whole variety of sizes, weights, shapes, and we need to handle them differently depending on what they are. So for lighter seeds like lettuce or root crops like carrots or beets, we want to direct sow those because they don't transplant super well. For other crops like spinach, the seeds are a little larger, tomatoes, peppers, melons, we need to focus on how to break the seed dormancy so that enough water can permeate that seed coating and enable the plants to get enough water in there, activate the proteins, grow, sprout, and then feed us through our spring. So what do I mean by breaking the seed dormancy? One of the first and most common things you can do to break seed dormancy is simply taking your seeds and soaking them in some water. And you'll want to do this for 6 to 8 hours minimum. You don't want to go too far over that. You can see some are sinking, some are floating. Ideally, you're going to want them all to sink because that means that the water is penetrating and then you're going to get a higher germination rate. I always plant probably 30% more seeds than I think I'm going to need because inevitably some aren't going to germinate, and that's fine. Another thing that you can do is you can scarify the seeds or nick the seeds. So it's kind of a simple process. All you do, you take your knife, you go, and trim a little off your seeds. Just breaking a little tip off. It's real easy to do. It takes a couple minutes. Be patient. Don't hurt yourself. Some people do this with scissors. I do this with a knife. And that's gone forever. But all you want to do is just break a little tiny bit. You can see the end of my knife right there. Just to give the water a little more way to get in there. Simple. So this is another way that you can scarify your seeds. You just get a little off cut of sandpaper, you get your seed, and you can just scrape your seed. It's hard to do with one hand. Scrape your seed on the sandpaper just to rough it up, and it'll take some of that coating off, and those seeds are going to be much easier for the water to penetrate.
So you're going to want to get yourself a nice, fluffy, airy soil mix like this. Something that doesn't hold together like this. This is native rocky soil. It will not work. Don't use it.
So this is an example of a decent soil. You can see there's chunks in there, but it's a rather fine mix. If you can, get seed starter mix as opposed to just regular potting soil. It tends to be a little more fine, have a little less like wood chunks like that. Like, we don't need that kind of stuff in there. But you want to get something like this. So this is a chopstick, and I just write measurements on here and markings, and that will help me. This is kind of a homemade version of what's called a dibber. And the dibber's purpose is to help you plant seeds at the correct depth. So how do we determine what the correct depth is? You want to take the seed and you want to put it next to the dibber, measure it, and you want to plant 2 to 3 times the width of the seed. So I wouldn't make a hole any bigger than probably what's like 4 millimeters on this. And just take it, push your soil down to about that depth, and drop your seed in. And then just lightly cover it up. You don't want to tamp it down too much, but a little bit, because you want it to make nice contact with the soil. And I try not to plant all of my seeds in the same hole. I try to separate them. And the reason being is some plants do give off hormones that are meant to reduce competition by other plants. So they want to be the strongest plants so that they're going to grow and nobody else is going to grow. They don't want to share the resources. It's all about survival, right?
So a lot of places will tell you have to plant seeds the pointy end down. And there is sound science to it, but for our purposes, it doesn't really matter that much.
All right. Most importantly, label. Label everything, because you will forget. You're going to tell yourself you're going to remember what you planted. You will not remember what you planted. Label everything. So this one, you can see, the Hungarian pepper is much smaller, so we're going to make a much shallower hole. These are a Hungarian pepper that I bought in Wilcox. It was grown in Wilcox, and I wanted to try and see if I could grow it for some Hungarian friends of mine. So tuck everything in, ready to go. It's worth mentioning that I'm giving these seeds quite a bit of care. Usually when I'm doing this in the garden, I'm just throwing stuff around. I'm going to throw a ton of seeds down and hope that something grows. I usually don't give this much care, but I think it's important to learn the proper way to do it, and then you can kind of fudge the rules or go a little faster in your own garden. But this is the best, most deliberate way you can do it. So for this one, I'm not going to make a hole at all. I'm simply going to tap a few seeds into each well. I will just lightly go over them with some soil. Just enough to cover them up. Barely any, even if you still see them a little bit, that'll be fine. And then same thing, just pat them down slightly. Labeled, ready to go. All right, so once you've got all your seeds planted, we're going to put them in a tray. Try to keep some of the water retention in the soil. So you can see I put them all in here. There's a little tray underneath to catch any runoff, and then you're going to lightly mist the seeds. You're going to do that, and you're just going to make sure that they stay moist. And then you're going to put them in a place where they're not in the direct sun, they're not in the wind, and it'll help maintain that moisture for longer, because you want it to be as stable an environment as possible for all your seeds. So you can see this is kind of my crazy jungle greenhouse. It's mostly used for sensitive plants and seeds. And I can't forget, check out this cool shirt my daughter made me. She wanted to make me a shirt for my YouTube video, and I told her if she did, I would definitely shout it out and tell her thank you. So thank you. I love it. Fits me perfect. As the new year's upon us, I hope you get outside, plant some seeds, grow some vegetables, and have a healthier 2026. Me? I'm going to start by cleaning all this confetti up, because I definitely didn't think that through. Until next time, see you later.